holds here. We're gonna wait at least 2 minutes to 5 minutes to connect with the client. And after we've done with that, I'm gonna start by coming with my hand here, kind of doing some nice rocking. I'm in the sacroiliac joint. Move up and do gentle compression, pushing away, kind of hooking onto the muscle and pulling it away from the spine. I can do just one hand, or I can do 2 at a time. I can rock. I can also compress from the other side. Okay, to the other side. Sliding down. I would take more time to do a lot of these, but I'm just kind of moving through the movements to show you. Oh, tight there. Oh, tight there. Nice little traction at the sacrum. Okay, remember we got our circular friction. We like that one. Let me get into my fingertips here, into the shoulder. And I'm going to do nice fist compression with a twist all the way down the spine. Going into the glute. Okay, I'm going to follow along the gluteus maximus attachment here, right along the arch of the hip bone, the ilium. I'm into the gluteus medius here. Then I'm going to go up around the greater trochanter, hitting the attachment for the piriformis here. Go up the center. You can move all around here. It doesn't have to be exact, but I just like to hit all the attachment points. Go back up. And repeat on the other side. Notice there's not a huge movement in my arm twist. Remember, we had a few different compressions in here. We could do the 2 hands together. We could do alternating. A few different options there. Remember, I took my palm, I'm going to hit it into the side of the QL, so I'm between the ribs and the hips. I'm going to come in at the side and just kind of, can either just hang out or do a gentle bounce. Okay. Let's see anything else. I think that's good. Undrape again halfway to the waistline, do my belt, tuck, tuck. Okay, starting with some effleurage to warm up the tissues. Gonna do some heart effleurage. Some alternating effleurage, flying aces. Gonna stick around the sacrum there. You don't have to go in this order or anything. This is just trying to cover all the different techniques we've covered. Could even give a little massage to the occiput coming in here. I'm going to do bilateral tree stroke to review that. Nice rocking up. If you remember this one, we do that halfway up and then we split. Just did this one today. Going out the top of the trap. Again, don't lean in too close where you're clear here with your hands. Stay back far enough you're not putting pressure on your wrists. Okay. Here's one where you can use the knuckling where we turn around and go into this. And I like alternating these circles and kind of just kneading into the hips and low back. I'm gonna come up into the neck and do the alternating petrissage to the neck. Partially focused up towards the occiput now, then I'm moving down and getting closer. Now I'm going to iron with my palm out the top of the upper trap and kind of do a little lifting on the way back. Can also get into the petrissage here from this position. And we want to do the other side. Okay, now I'm going to get into some forearm work. We have our broadening with the forearms, where I'm coming in. I'm going to wait till my forearms are in that last third next to the elbow, and then spread. Come up, second time in. I'm going to go past the scapula and around. And remember when we learned how to swim, I don't want to put pressure on the spine, so I have my arms up a little bit, a 45-degree angle away from my body. I'm going to go under the triangle under my armpit to switch. This is a pretty light technique. Moving to the side, I'm just going to do one side. Start with some alternating effleurage up. Mostly using my palms for pressure right now. I'm kind of moving into my fingertips. Hook up and around, grab that upper trap and start doing some nice alternating petrissage. And pull to iron. Here's that circular effleurage we like so much, around the shoulder. Okay, I come up and do that upside down, alternating petrissage. Really get in between here and across into the top of here. Good. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my thumb and I can either iron the top of the trap or do thumb compressions. And then follow it up with following that levator scap to the upper corner of the scapula and spread out. Give it some love again. Okay, gonna do some of that thumb walking through this area just to warm up those tissues. And then we have some cross fiber thumb friction down the erectors and for the attachment of the trap. You can also do that just walking, alternating thumb effleurage. Or the bouncing that we learned. Okay, and remember we can alternate just on one side. And go into the forearms. So I'm going to scoop up, round the scapula, keeping my elbow right on the edge of the spine. Should almost feel it with my elbow. Always keep your eye on there where your arm's going. I'm aiming here right under my arm. Going up over, I'm going to straighten out a little bit, go up over the hip bone. And apply gentle pressure along the gluteus medius. Relax. I'm going to come up here with my palm. Or you can use your forearm. Remember, we can kind of do our little swimming here and lengthen it. Pressure. He's almost in a half moon and then nothing. Then pressure. Or we can go into cross fiber ironing. Ironing along the length of the QL. Cross fibering the QL. Lengthening. Okay, we can take our fingertips on the edge. Okay, I'm going to come across and do some pulling. Remember our V and then spread. You can also just press down and alternate. You can do pulling all the way up. I can even let my fingertips fall in between the ribs and get into those intercostals. On my way down, I can use that Russian sports friction technique, put cross fiber action to the erectors. I can come back up. Remember, we're in a V. We're making all 3 points come to one. I'm going to bring her arm here for this next part. So remember our serratus anterior. So I might do some friction or even circular friction. Or I can grab with my fingertips and hook in and drag. Okay. Can also do working my way up from here. I'm going to use my palm and do palm ironing, cross fiber ironing of the erectors. My pressure happens right after I pass the spine. Remember this one, we got our rotator cuff muscles, going to fingertip iron to the attachment and then scoop. Fingertip iron and then scoop. I'm going to go all the way down and do a palm ironing of the sides of the tricep. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to get into this area now and do some thumb circles along the edge of the scapula. Can also do alternating circular thumb effleurage in between. I'm gonna come up from here doing forearm work. My arm's going to start to straighten out as it comes to the scapula. It's going to continue through here and then come back up. It's going to line up with the edge of the scapula like this and slide down. You can split the bottom of the scapula and lift it like this. And again, watch your thumb that it doesn't become too hyperextended, the joint. I also did some small circular friction going in towards, so circle in towards the scapula. Okay. We got our friction, our sawing friction here at the top of the trap, going in between in the rhomboids and all along the edge of the scapula. And I can even cross fiber across. You can do any one of those or all three of them together. Let's see, what else do we want to do? We have our ironing. Here I'm focused on the erectors. Or I can do it and focus on the edge of the scapula and get this trigger point right here for the trap. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go into the arm. Do some alternating petrissage. Over we can do some broadening. We also have our double-handed petrissage with a shake. And then our fulling. And some 3-fingertip chucking / parallel friction towards the end by the elbow. Feels really nice there. I'm going to back up and show this one on the shoulder blade. I'm just going to come from this angle. My body is lined up with the arm, so I'm between the head and the shoulder. I'm going to pull the skin back tight, and I'm going to do small circular friction with the pressure on the pullback all along the top of the scapula. Okay. We got our nice long drag, and I can take it all the way down the arm and off the hands. Oh. Okay, you stay there. I'm going to flip. I'm going to take this here, do some nice pulling. Just finger drags down the muscles, feels really good. Some ironing with my palm. Is the outside hand for the outside and the inside hand for the inside of the forearm. You can also use your fist to do the same thing. I'm going to do some alternating slow petrissage to the forearm. And then just a nice palm iron all the way down and across the hand. We can also do a little palm compression right at the wrist. And we can do a drag across the top edge of this tricep in a long tissue lengthening all down the arm. In the hands, I can do thumb walk, just kind of alternating long effleurage with the thumb. We can do circles We can do like a bilateral tree stroke. And we can do crossing. And take our knuckles and just do a nice